Yes! scene. Class first class. The mastermind of this operation is Jason Levine. Class first class. With the help of his scruffy buddy, 85 to the RGT. Class first class.
Good evening and welcome to the Sunday Night Class vs. Crass Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Hey Jay. Joining me, we got RGT85 as usual, and the bearded one, Greg Vargas.
How are you doing, eh?
Is your gamer tag still Massive STDs? I just realized if I should call you by your gamer tag, but I guess
please don't.
They're not minor STDs yet.
They're very massive.
All right. If it is your first time joining us, this is a podcast stream live every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube, and then distributed to all podcasting platforms out there on the internet. Tonight we have a 1-hour show for you guys. Lots of interesting topics. We're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5 rumors. We're going to be talking about Google Stadia. We're going to be talking about Fortnite's black hole and whatever else. Yeah. Maybe we're going to be talking about Greg's little journey into Canada land. That'll be interesting to hear. And
it is, eh?
It's usually, before we get into that, though, we're going to be getting into what we've been playing. Then we're going to wrap it all up with the lightning round. That's where we take your questions, your topics, and we toss it up for discussion and stuff. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Those are the ground rules. All right. Let's get started with Greg. Who have you been apologizing to?
Everybody.
Was this your first time in Canada?
Yeah, this was my first trip to Canada. And you know, honestly, like I was literally in Canada this morning, and now I'm back in the lonely Midwest state of Iowa. But no, I had a really good time, man. You know, thanks for the hospitality, for showing us around a little bit, the touristy stuff. But I mean, I really did have just a really good time, and you know, everybody was pretty inviting. You know, we got to see some cool stuff, hang out with some friends, and it was good.
I wish I had a camera in the car. So Sean, basically since Thursday, I picked up Greg, Andrew from Xbox Enthusiasts, and Brett from Nintendo Enthusiasts. And the four of us were pretty much in a car. And who?
And Nero, who unfortunately had to hear.
Well, Nero was there only for a fragment, but I feel the majority of the time it was you guys, all in a car. You can just imagine the chaos that ensued from that.
Smell.
There was a lot of smells.
Yeah, Brett has something dying in his rectum.
Don't tell anybody, guys. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, please don't tell anybody. I'm
literally, that was Brett every 5 minutes, just tooting the horn and then repeatedly telling us to not tell anybody.
I think he was nervous about being in like a foreign country or something.
It wasn't his first time in Canada, though.
Yeah, but still, I mean, Canada sucks.
Does it suck, Greg?
Surprisingly, it's very clean. I was very surprised.
I mean, you were in a nice area, though. You're in like downtown Toronto. I mean, you go to fucking downtown New York, it's clean as shit nowadays.
Well, and see, my comparison was downtown San Francisco, because you know I would go to like gaming events and stuff there, and press conferences or showing preview events, and it is so grimy in San Francisco. And it was just like, I mean, the architecture and the buildings are the same, but you know, or similar, but it's just not that dirty.
You know what, Sean? I'll respect your opinion a lot more if you actually come to Canada. If you come to Canada and then you say it sucks, all the power to you. But right now, you're just kind of yelling at clouds.
No, it's true.
But yeah, Greg, you were in town for EGLX, of course, a big gaming convention I once helped with. How'd you like it?
It was a good time. You know, I missed out on a couple things that I wanted to do. I left before the Apex Legends stuff today. But you know, it was really cool. I think that's the thing that I enjoy most is, you know, the group I was with was like all different age ranges, and you know, there's some of them I was meeting for the first time, And after you get over that little hurdle of introductions and everything, and then you start talking about games that you love or games that you play that other people haven't, or dislikes and likes, and that all just kind of washes away. You just get lost in conversation about video games. And I think that's regardless of the show or whatever, it's bringing people that are fans of video games together. And that was something I didn't get a lot as a kid, so I love that.
Matt says, hey JRGT, are we going to hear that Sean needs to go to Tim Hortons? I think there's some Tim Hortons in New York State, though. I don't know if they go much beyond that, but you don't have to cross the border to get some Tim Hortons.
Yeah, there's one in White Plains.
There you go.
White Plains isn't.
Oh wait, I've never been to.
Now I'm a bit of a snobby Canadian, and Tim Hortons is the coffee drink of most Canadians, but
I don't drink coffee.
They have donuts too.
But I could just go to a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, you really could. I don't see much benefit in you going to a Tim Hortons. You might like the iced cappuccino. I don't know if you've ever had one of those.
I mean, probably like once.
It's a delicious sweet treat.
Canada will deport RGT upon arrival.
They probably will.
Ethan with the super chat, $2.99, telling me to screw off because I'm live streaming while you're having dinner. I'd say that we are providing entertainment for you while you scarf down whatever it is you eat, my friend. So enjoy. All right, let's get into what we've been playing, starting with Sean. What have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of Witcher 3 still.
Is this your first time with the game?
Yeah. Really enjoyable game. I don't know why people shit on the combat. Like, that's what always made me hesitant towards the game. People are like, oh, your combat's not good. I'm like, oh, okay. But like the combat's super fun. Like, it's super satisfying. And like when you come across bandits and like you chop their fucking heads off and shit, like that's fun. Like, that's cool. Just a great game. Probably the best handheld Switch game to date because they made it with the Switch a handheld in mind. I have not busted out the Ring Fit yet.
Has anyone here played Ring Fit?
It's literally on the floor right there.
What is that random spot on the floor? You just walked in and like, ugh.
No, that's where I opened the box up and I just took it out of the box and threw away the box and just left it there. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to start filming that tomorrow because my Ring Fit review isn't going to be really a review. It's just going to be like a running joke because Beetlejuice will be reviewing it.
The question I have, though, is will the ring fit?
Me? What am I, fucking obese? Am I Boogie 2988 here? Jesus Christ.
I did play it at EGLX.
They had it there?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, cool.
I was honestly very surprised. It was actually a pretty positive experience.
I've been hearing a lot of good things. It's got a 7.8 on Metacritic, and most people say it's funny because most RGTs you end up grinding, right? You get lost in an RPG for 3 to 4 hours. Mm-hmm. Nobody can get lost in Ring Fit Adventure for more than like 30 minutes to an hour.
Well, I found so they have pacing from when you're jogging in place. I will say though that the leg band is, I mean, especially for my legs aren't that big, but it was pretty snug. It's not that big.
Okay.
That's what she said. But the band itself was pretty firm. I was pretty surprised at that. There's a calibration you do at the beginning where you pull it apart, and then another one where you squeeze it together. Because like when you're running, you're jogging in place and you're aiming it down to jump and stuff like that, and then you're pulling it and you're using it to shoot. But it felt like I don't know, comparison would be like a Bowflex maybe, like that same material. It was like even holding it apart while it calibrated, I mean, my arms were shaking. And I mean, I usually go to the gym about like 4 days a week, and even squeezing it together, it was the same thing. And like it calibrates, what the strength pull is and stuff like that. But I was actually pretty surprised. I walked away a little sweaty.
I hear hot. That. I hear that. That's quite hot. Aside, anything else you've been playing, Sean? Sorry, I just want to go all over the place with these topics.
No. Nothing worth mentioning, really.
Me.
Have you seen my artwork that I picked up, sir?
I think I saw it on Instagram or Twitter or something.
All of it? I have 4 pieces of art that are absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to show them off here. First, we have this beautiful print of Sonic the Hedgehog Look at that. That is my childhood encapsulated in a frame. You're not even looking.
Oh, oh look. Yeah, that's cool.
Notice me.
How much
Dad.
was that?
Well, I got 3 of them for $40.
40.
Yeah, so sell them for
Well,
Look at this
Jason's
one.
like
This one's
describing
pretty.
them to
This
us
one's
that-
pretty cool. Look at this one. This is a nice little Metroid one. You got Ridley coming out of the clouds.
Jason was describing to him before we saw him, and he did the poorest description of what they look like because they look nothing like.
It's hard to
Describe
describe. Like it's hard to
This
describe.
was like an old picture of like Sonic with like the Chaos Emeralds around it, and it's like kind of old.
And then you got like
looking.
Link looking
no.
up. That's
That
the-
one, yeah, that one's really good.
Okay, you're into this because it's your boy Link. That's the...
No, it just looks like better artwork to me.
Okay, so that's all from the same artist, and then I got one more that caught my eye that I just couldn't say no to, which is of course my Tifa.
I thought you bought 3,
I did buy 3, and then I found this one, which was a 4th one, so I bought 4.
but you said you bought
I
3.
said I bought 3 for 40, and then I got Tifa for 20.
That's a lot. They didn't even give you a discount because you bought 3. You bought this all from the same vendor.
No, the Tifa's from a different vendor.
Okay.
He sold it for 20. The other guy gave me his 3 for the price of 2. And that
Yeah, well, I mean, they usually do that.
and this is the reason I don't have Ring Fit Adventure with me, because
because of art.
the money I put aside for Ring Fit Adventure went into that cool artwork, which is going to be going up there right next to the beautiful Hollow Knight painting I have. And then we're taking down Mario, and this Link business, that's going down.
What was Ring Fit like? 99 Canadian. So it's like 89 US.
Yeah, so most AAA games here, they sell for $79.99, so it's $20 more than a regular game release.
Jesus.
What is it for you
89.
guys? Because you guys usually pay $60 for a game, and then it's like,
Yeah.
I think it was 8. What was it, $80 for Ring Fit?
so you still got a $20 bump.
I'm pretty sure. I don't even remember.
All right. Greg, what have you been playing?
Still on the Apex Legends train. Still playing Rocket League. They have some holiday themed events on there. I finished up Felix the Reaper this last week for review. I was kind of disappointed though.
What's it called, sir?
Felix the Reaper.
Okay.
It's one. He's like a dancing death dealer. He's like a Reaper in training. It's a puzzle game. And like one of the things that was like really quirky, it was kind of unique, like the art style, but there was something that I just couldn't, grasp about the puzzles and stuff, and it just didn't grab me like a lot of the other puzzle games that I had played in the past. Death Squared, Elo Milo, the Portal series. They all had, the comedy, the narrative comedy, along with really good puzzles, and this just, I don't know, it just didn't do a good job of marrying all of those concepts into a puzzler, and I just kind of walked away feeling pretty unsatisfied,
That's unfortunate.
kind of like all my sexual partners.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Wow.
I didn't have a way to come back to that. But myself, I've been dabbling with ukulele. So I was playing, I restarted on the PS4, trophy hunting through ukulele. For some reason, I don't know, I'm enjoying it more on the PS4 than on Steam, or maybe it's just because I'm diving back into it. Or maybe it's because I was streaming. I find platformers are a little, sometimes some platformers I find too dull if I'm sitting alone playing it. But on stream, when I can talk to people while like simultaneously play, it's more interesting. So yeah, we talked about this actually last time, I think, because you gave it like a 9 out of 10 or something, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I jumped in on your stream for a little bit.
Yeah,
when
that's
you were
right.
playing. Yeah, so have you reached the level where you think like I can see why Greg gave this that kind of score, or are you still?
I do respect your score more. Like the soundtrack, while nothing sticks in my head, it is a beautiful soundtrack through and through. The artwork's beautiful. The gameplay feels better now for some reason. Maybe it clicked for me.
Well, they've also done updates to the game too.
Oh, did they?
Did they?
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't
that was
remember.
one of the big things is they did subsequent, because the Switch version I remember was scoring a little higher, and it was because it had all of the updates that had been done in the previous versions of the game.
Oh.
Yeah, see, I played it on Switch.
Yeah, I didn't know
Wow.
that. So anyway, it's a fantastic game. I do recommend it for you guys. Eric with $1 donation. Thank you. This buck includes a heart to Greg.
Hey.
So a heart to you, Greg, from
Hey.
Eric. Also continuing Persona 5, started Castlevania Symphony. No, not Symphony of the Night. Castlevania Circle of the Moon on Game Boy Advance. We're back to being punished a little bit. I forgot this one's a lot harder than Symphony of the Night. That was my expectation for Castlevania Metroidvanias. Nope, this one is bringing back a little bit of that classic Castlevania difficulty to the game.
Quit being a pussy.
Just gotta tough it up. And what else did I play? There was one thing Control. I totally forgot I had Control in my Epic library, which at first, have any of you played Control?
No, I'm waiting for it to be like $20.
Yeah. How about you, Greg? It seems like a Greg game.
I know, and that's a thing that bothers me most. I'm waiting to upgrade my GPU, then I'm gonna jump in.
Okay, so yeah, this is the first game I actually got
4K.
to like use my PC at its full specs, put on ray tracing, everything. It looks beautiful, but oh my god, it's a slow start. It's like heavy dialogue, and it's a girl like always talking to herself, so you're always hearing her thoughts. So that part kind of annoying. I wasn't down for that. But the rest of it is it's like a Metroidvania, a 3D shooter Metroidvania where you're using telekinesis, but you can also shoot with a gun that recharges its own ammo. The gameplay gets really good in combat. You're like shooting people and lifting crates and tossing it at them. It's a pretty fun game. I would recommend that. Gadget Mike says, Jay, do you think RGT could beat Hollow Knight? Definitely not.
I guess I could.
I would put a bet right here that you could not.
You can't afford me.
I know I can't, but I would still place a bet that you could not complete Hollow Knight.
Did you beat it?
Not the perfect ending.
Well, are we talking about the perfect ending or just an ending?
I think you would struggle to get the ending. And I can't challenge you to get the perfect ending until I do it, so. If you wanna take the challenge.
I don't want to waste my time with Hollow Knight.
All right. All right. So, actually, we're gonna go into Eric again. This buck has a cup of wine for Jay. Thank you for that, Eric. First topic. Let's get into Fortnite since we weren't here last week. Fortnite does one of the biggest marketing stunts in gaming history. Kills its game. Love it, like it, hate it, or meh.
It's genius.
Yep.
So what you got? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to turn off that alert, Eric. What else is there? One more for Sean. Time to check your Twitter DM. LOL.
I will. Sorry.
What do you guys? What do you think of that? What do you guys think of Fortnite Chapter 2, the black hole? Any reactions? Any thoughts? I have a few.
It's genius.
Did it get you to check back Fortnite?
No.
So what I found most interesting is the stats that came out of it where it showed the viewership on all the platforms. And YouTube was by far the biggest viewership. I think it pulled 4 million or something, whereas Twitch only had about 1.5 million.
Twitch sucks.
Well, that's the thing, and we were talking about this a little bit
here.
before going live. I think Twitch is a little bit. I don't know. After seeing that whole Fortnite event, it came across that Twitch might not bolster the same audience size that, I don't know, it leads us to believe that it has. I think it's still being dwarfed very much by YouTube, as the Fortnite numbers would suggest. What do you guys think?
I think it's much more accessible to jump to open a tab, open YouTube, and just pull up the video, or someone have the YouTube video that they drop the link on. I mean, you see that more often than not, a YouTube link to a video on Facebook or Twitter that's easy to pull up versus like logging into Twitch and going to the channel and go to the mobile version. So I think in that sense, it was just an easier way to access the media and the.
But to be fair, Twitter had the black hole streaming directly from the Fortnite account. So anybody could keep an eye on it just by being in Twitter. So even that audience wasn't logged into YouTube.
Well, I mean, if you're at work at your desktop computer or something like that, I'm sure you'd want to check back, like, just curious to see if shit's gone down yet or not versus, I don't know, if you're not able to pull out your mobile phone and you're at work, you can easily open a tab instead of logging into Twitter and wondering what you're doing.
So I know mostly Sean and I hang out on YouTube. We stream on YouTube. We mingle with other YouTubers. Do you dabble more on the Twitch platform, Greg, or are you mostly wherever?
Yeah, wherever the content is, mostly YouTube. Because I mean, I watch you guys. I watch Sean's videos.
Sorry.
I think they're good. Not. No, I watch all your guys' content because I only watch a select few content creators that I actually value what they have to say, and unfortunately, you guys are those people. But outside of you guys, there's only like 2 Twitch streamers that I really pay attention to. One of them she's doing some Borderlands 3, and then another's a friend that I go and watch every now and then. But I mean, that's about it.
I just realized, because I was talking over the weekend to someone, and they were asking me to set up, so this is an esports bar that was asking me about this, to set up a Twitch stream. And they were asking me about like showing beer on stream. I was like, wait a minute, is that a problem? Because I'm always streaming on YouTube, and even like tonight, I have a beer in my hand. And it never crossed my mind before that was an issue. But you guys were telling me just before we went live that that's against the term of service of Twitch, right? You can't drink or smoke. Can you smoke on Twitch?
I don't know. Probably not. Twitch is just, I don't know. It seems like Twitch has way more rules.
Yeah. It seems a lot more, I don't know. Around the
I don't know.
neck.
Could you see Twitch changing? I mean, even with, streamers like Ninja leaving the platform, do you think that was a sign of, a little bit of the writing on the walls for things to come?
Well, I mean, I don't think Ninja leaving was so much writing on the wall as much as it was a fat check.
Yeah.
I do have to admit, though, I'm all for what Mixer is trying to do in introducing competition to the streaming landscape. That said, I won't pretend to really understand. I'm definitely no expert on streaming. The streams I put on are very rudimentary. I would say pro streamers are way better, have way more knowledge how to do streams, how to be more interactive with streams. They got all these things around the screen. You look at this podcast, all we have is a bit of artwork in the chat. But people, they put like leaderboards. They have all these bots in the chat interacting with their users, and these bots are doing other things. Like that's what I think is more like pro level streaming. I don't know what they think. I'd love to. Maybe we should get a proper streamer on this show.
I have just the guy.
Do you?
I'll tell you later.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear his thoughts, because right now I think we have a little bit of a biased crew here.
Fuck Twitch.
Exactly. Very biased. Have you even dabbled on Mixer at all, Sean?
No.
When's the last time you streamed? Do you even stream anymore?
I don't really stream anymore.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit on each of them, but like, the moment I get a bug up my ass and I stream a little something, and then I'm like, I could do that, and then I go and look at other people's, like you said, the pro streamers, and I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. And they got,
just like, that's a lot of effort right there.
They've got like 5 like screens, and they got like all these decks and stuff to switch and do transition and stuff. I don't know. I feel I need to spend a day. I have no excuse anymore. Like I have no job. I should spend a day to just study how to stream and do it properly. Matt says, can you enable payments directly through Streamlabs? As far as I'm aware, payments are enabled through Streamlabs. I think that's what Eric was doing earlier with the no donations. But thank you, Matt, for the $1.99 super chat. So yeah, it should be available, and the link is down in the description. So back to Fortnite, the black hole. Clearly this was a big event. They really knew how to draw attention. It was the end of season 10. They rebooted. Now you can swim, you can heal stuff. I feel this is kind of one of those marketing tactics that, yeah, it's big, it was successful, but it's going to be very hard. Like, where do you go from here? There's no way they can recreate, like, desaturate, and then it's just going to hold level.
I mean, to be fair, like Fortnite was dwindling in viewership anyway, so it needed to do something, and it did something to help bring it back into awareness. It was a genius marketing stunt. I mean, I don't think it's necessarily about growing Fortnite anymore. It's about surviving it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think only a company like Epic could pull off something like that. I mean, it's not like they're going to lose money doing something crazy like shutting down their own game for a couple days. It's not like they're going to lose people, and just like you said, people were paying attention to see what the outcome was, and kind of shot themselves a little stem pack to get people back in that haven't played in a while, and but again, it's because they had the money to do it, to pull off something on that large of a scale.
Do you guys think we're going to see copycats and it's going to fail horribly where like they're like, oh, our game's gone, and then literally everybody leaves and doesn't come back? Like in the next 2 years. No one's going to do it like in the next few months, but
I'm sure there'll be something similar, because I've seen, I mean, like you from like things that you see, like I've noticed this lately, like because Apex Legends now has some sticking power. It's still around. They just launched their third season. They're doing limited time events for Halloween and stuff like that. But I've seen them borrow ideas from things like Apex Legends and put it into Fortnite. So I mean, I don't know. I see inevitable changes. They have to keep innovating on some level. And I do think it works the other way too, where you're going to see games take ideas from Fortnite to just like what Riot announced, some of their new shooters and stuff.
What is the Apex health check, good sir? Every time you come to the show, we get a little update on what Apex is doing, because I don't know anyone else who plays it like you do.
Yeah, I don't know. They've kept it interesting. There's tons of skins to unlock. They keep adding new legends to the roster. They're doing kind of the Overwatch style where they have some of the lore about each of the characters, and they're actually really good character biographies, and giving a little bit more about how they ended up here. And this was the thing. Okay, so full Apex Legend had Kings Canyon as their map, and they did a few things to change up the map going into the second season. And then the third season was an entirely new map with a train running through it and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Fortnite shuts down and they roll out a new map. Mm-hmm. And it's like, were they holding off to do this until somebody else did it? Or, they're just out there to prove they're the big dog? I don't know. But, the Apex Legends does enough to keep adding weapons, to keep adding things that are fresh. And it's still very competitive. They had solos last season for a limited time. I just feel like I'm glad that it has this much sticking power to have me go on and find a match almost immediately, and have people to play. I mean, there's always somebody on from my friends who's playing Apex Legends, whether I'm on PC or on Xbox One. Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody else out there that wants to play on Xbox One, massive STDs, I'll play.
Please play with me.
Play with me.
I think the map thing, that's too big to have been in a response to Apex, and the fact that it happened with season 10, I don't know. It could have been pressured by Apex, but I would have never have thought of that.
Yeah.
All right. So our next topic, let's talk PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 has been. I feel like we haven't covered the PlayStation 5 properly since it's been doing things.
Well, I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to go on initially.
It kind of came out like a really squeaky fart. They're just like, hey, the PlayStation 5's coming holiday. It's maybe backwards compatible. It has ray tracing. It has SSD. Like, it was just so not exciting.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's hardware. Hardware is not exciting to a lot of people.
But it's not just hardware, because they're saying the controller apparently is going to do stuff. They're rethinking the UI.
Yeah, it's got the same HD rumble. They just called it something different.
I know, that's what I thought.
Did you see that ring diagram?
Yeah, I did.
No, what ring diagram? What ring diagram?
It's like a diagram of what the controller's supposed to be, and it showed like a little figurine and then a ring and like a hand through the ring and them holding the toy.
What?
And I don't know if it's just like a really weird concept. I don't know if
is it white and green?
Means. Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, I'm gonna put this up on the screen.
White
it looks
green,
like a dog toy.
Dick.
What is this? Okay, here's the patent. So,
I mean, to be fair, it is just a patent, though. So
yeah.
So you got like a sliding thing, nub, and then you got a button.
It just looks like it's going to be used with PlayStation VR.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe it's like the Joy-Con where it has the IR scanner, and maybe your hand goes through it and it can capture your hand or something.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which is funny about Ring Fit Adventure. You can put your thumb over the IR scanner and it gets your checks your heart rate.
Oh yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat.
It's always funny that you see PlayStation always follow Nintendo with something that looks similar. I'm not saying they're copying Nintendo. I'm just saying the timing.
I think you're saying they're copying.
I'm saying it's a very
Maybe it's
coincidental
a
timing.
cock ring.
Calm down there. We also know now for sure that the dev kit does look like a retro futuristic.
We don't know. We don't know that for sure.
We saw it in the wild, man.
We saw a picture
Of a picture.
of it, and it could just be are you gonna say the Stewie Griffin controller is real too?
It was real. It was real. It wasn't made by Nintendo, but it was a real
It
controller.
was a 3D printout.
Yeah, it kind of counts.
This could be a 3D printout. Is all I'm saying.
Your skepticism is valid.
Realism.
Maybe they made it so unique so then if somebody does leak it, they know who has them and they can just walk it back to find out who leaked it.
I'm sure there's hundreds out there.
Yeah, but I'm sure. Come on, you're telling me they don't have strict, NDAs for it?
Oh, of course they do.
Oh yeah, they do. That's why that one guy who tweeted about it mysteriously
He's out
disappeared.
The guy from Codemasters or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, we totally got one of those in the back.
R.I.P.
Right. No, I think the DualShock's not going to be that ring or anything. The DualShock's going to be the DualShock. If anything we know from PlayStation, they're not going to change anything radically different. I think you're going to see the Joy or the HD Rumble added into it, and they're going to call it something like I don't know. They're going to make it more dramatic. It's going to be an Apple commercial about this thing, and everyone's going to remember about it, and they're going to be like, oh, this is so amazing. And then they're going to be like, remember when Nintendo did it and didn't do anything with it? Do you guys actually feel anything with, nobody talks about HD Rumble anymore. Did people stop using them or did we just stop noticing?
I think developers stopped putting an emphasis on it.
I see it in some cases where, it's like you get like reverberation in certain like animations on screen and it resembles what you're doing to that degree. But I mean, I haven't really, sometimes honestly it feels cheap. Like it feels, I don't know if it's the Joy-Con material that is too light, but it sometimes it just feels off. Like it feels
a Joy-Con,
cheap.
you mean?
The HD Rumble in the Joy, that the Joy-Con is not, I think obviously we know that from the Drift that it's not made with better quality, but it doesn't feel as solid as the Switch console itself. And if sometimes the HD Rumble feels like cheap plastic vibrating in my hands.
Right. I remember when they had what was the game? 1-2 Switch, was it called? With the balls.
Oh, yeah.
The balls and the controller. That was really cool. Like that was a great showcase of what it could do. And yes. I remember for the next maybe 6 months, every review like about games that had HD Rumble, people would talk about it. Reviewers would be like, oh yeah, this HD Rumble, you could feel all like the curves of the road and all the terrain, and people would comment on it. And now nobody in their review talks about HD Rumble because it's taken for granted or whatever. I don't know.
No, I mean that, and what more can you really do with it necessarily?
I don't know.
I feel like there's more focus on sorry, survival horror or something like that took advantage of it to on a different level than maybe people would appreciate it more. I don't know.
Because the way that they were talking about PlayStation, it sounds like you would get a different sensation in your controller depending on what you're walking on. So if you're walking on something squishy, you'd feel that. If you're walking on concrete, you'd feel that.
Okay, come on now.
What?
It's marketing, Jason. It's marketing.
Well, I fall for it every time. Speaking of marketing, let's talk Stadia. Are any of you guys following the Stadia story? I know you have a founder's pack, sir.
Who,
Sean
me?
does?
Yeah.
Fuck no, I don't.
You didn't order it?
No.
I could have sworn you ordered it.
No.
You said you ordered it, so then I ordered it.
I would never order Stadia.
No, I'm kidding. I totally ordered it before even talking to Sean. So nobody here pre-ordered it but me.
That's right.
Okay. Well, I'm okay with that because I really am curious about Stadia. Just as a concept. It's not my preferred way to game. I just really want to try it out and see what they can actually do with this technology. But what we're seeing, so back to my initial question, are any of you actually following the news of Stadia or no?
I mean, somewhat, but you got to be more specific.
Okay, well, in the last week, we heard the marketing term negative latency being thrown around. You guys know about that?
Yes.
Where they're saying now the game is basically going to predict your input somehow, and it's going to run faster than your own local machines. It will be more responsive than your local machines, which is the heaviest layer of bullshit I've ever heard anybody throw around so confidently. And then the expectation was lowered by saying, but you're not going to feel that until 2 years from now. We're not going to be there at launch. And then
I didn't know it was that far out for them to say something like that. 2 years out?
They said the full vision of Stadia will be realized 2 years from now, and that's when it's going to be more responsive than your local machine.
Can't they look at something like the Epic Games and the roadmap they have, out right now that they're catching flack for, and say like, maybe we fucked up in this.
Maybe don't say that, right? Maybe just don't talk. That's and okay. So then this week, they came out and clarified the position on the controller. So you know how this is advertised as you have one controller to play them all. And you can just look at a screen and think about it almost. And you can play on that screen. Like the whole concept of Stadia is play anywhere, however you want, as long as you have that controller, right? You guys are with me there? Now they're going back and saying, this will only work through Wi-Fi. And I might be paraphrasing at this point, but I think you need the dongle at launch, which means you have to, you can't go play this on your cellular network. You can't just go play outside on your phone like they were advertising it to be.
What a fucking piece of shit.
At launch you can't. That's coming later.
Everything that might have made this remotely interesting was coming later. Don't you worry.
Exactly. So now they have no interesting game library, and now even their hardware and whole marketing. There's no reason to play this.
The field of broken promises.
And this
You're the dumbass who bought it.
I can still cancel my pre-order, but now we have a date too. We know that the Founders Pack is coming November 19th. So here we are, about 1 month. We're exactly 1 month out from Stadia coming out, and each week they're just like, that thing we said 6 months ago, just that's going to come later. It's going to come later. So I feel that we're going to hear a little bit more backpedaling to just lower those expectations as we get closer to launch.
And then in a year, it'll be, well, we tried with Google Stadia, and it just didn't take off the way we wanted to. So we're going to wrap things up.
Probably. Tron says, please cancel and save your money. So the thing is, I work a lot with Rerez now, and nobody at Rerez ordered this either, and they were about to. I'm like, guys, don't bother, I've got it. So maybe I can go halfsies with Rerez.
Because most people are smart.
You're thinking I'm throwing my money at this because I believe in what they're saying. I'm throwing my money at this because I want to try it without any bias.
That's fair.
Yeah, so you don't have money for Ring Fit, but I got money for my Google Stadia, so I can just buy more games.
So there might be a little bit more to that. I also know I'm not ready to get fit. Ring Fit Adventure is going to kick my butt.
In my head, Ring Fit Adventure sounds more promising than Google Stadia.
That's fair. That's fair. And when you put it that way, I probably would be better off to just cancel that and buy Ring Fit Adventure. I'd look better too. I'd actually be in shape. Ethan with the $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Nobody likes Canada. I gotta stop reading your super chats.
I like him. He's good.
He's one of your people.
I had poutine for the first time.
Yeah, and he's another $1.99 from Ethan saying, still wondering WTF is a poutine. Sir,
it's pretty damn good.
I'm going to take you on a little journey right now with me. Join me as you will, as we look at, I'm going to look this up on the side. Poutine is a slang sometimes. This is what a poutine looks like. In its most basic form, it is fries. You want some crispy fries. You want some cheese curds. And that's really special. I find that the wannabe places, they don't understand the concept of a cheese curd. Now, the great thing about a cheese curd is when you pour the hot gravy over the cheese, it doesn't melt. It doesn't get all shreddy and stuff. It just gets warm and chewy. and it's a pleasure. It's blissful in your mouth.
It constipated me for like the entire time I was in Canada.
You sure you weren't constipated before that? Some of you guys were complaining about your buttholes.
I either have the shits or I'm constipated. I think
it's one extreme or the other. Seriously, these guys, like, going back to my 3 guys in my car, it was a preview of what it would be like in my retirement. Like, I felt like I was driving around with 3 old men, because every time we just walked by a washroom, they're all like, oh, we need to go to the toilet. I'm like, you just peed 5 minutes ago.
Maybe they have weak bladders.
Maybe. Well, I'm calling them out on it.
And that could be a serious medical condition.
All 3 of them, though?
I'm sure Brett has.
They would go like women to the washroom, where they're like, I need to go to the washroom. Can you come with me? It's like, nobody's going to hurt you in Canada, especially in the washroom.
Oh, I was just hoping for something to happen in the washroom. You know what I mean? Touch me right in my poutine.
Whoa. Seriously, though, Greg, you had your first poutine. What'd you think?
I was surprised. I was like, man, this looks disgusting, and it tasted pretty good.
It's a fantastic hangover food.
I poured Tabasco sauce all over it, because Canada doesn't have any real Mexican hot sauces or anything of that nature.
No, I'd have to
or
take
Mexican
restaurant.
Or I saw one Mexican, and what was he doing? He was working in the street. He was doing construction. And I was like, even the Mexicans up here are working in construction.
Now, I want to hear from you. What did you think of the cheese curd, though?
It was good.
Had you ever had that before, a cheese curd like that?
Yeah, when I did the Midwest Gaming Classic, our panel there in Wisconsin, we stopped and got deep fried cheese curds, and they're pretty good. And then they had them here at the Iowa State Fair.
Okay.
White people food, standard.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that's Stadia. Another super chat from Ethan saying, thank you again for the 199, but he says another 2,000 likes and we see Sean's weight. Not quite sure.
Oh, another what? I'm sorry.
Another 2,000 likes and we see Sean's weight.
Yeah, I get 2,000 likes on this video. Good luck.
What does he? What to know your actual weight? Is that a secret?
I don't know my actual weight.
Is that a secret to everybody?
I haven't weighed myself, and
yeah,
I don't go to the doctor or dentist or anything like that.
Imagine you having a scale. Does your grandmother have a scale? I feel everybody's grandmother has a scale.
I'm sure she does.
Like, there must have been a period, I think in the 80s or 90s, where the marketing on scales was exceptional, and everybody bought. Because my mother has one, my grandmother has one. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scale.
So it's you're saying it's scaled back over the years?
It's definitely scaled back. That's a good one though. All right. Okay, so that's everything I want to talk about for Stadia and stuff. Was there any topics you guys were interested in from this past week?
Did you look over my videos? Steal some stuff?
No, because when I do that, you just go, just look at my video, man. I'm not here to talk about that.
I was talking about all your.
What about the analog? You're not gonna fucking talk about the analog pocket?
That's a good one.
Greatest thing in
that is a good one.
Sliced bread. Thing looks fantastic.
It does. Let's get this up here. You want to give us the honors of the intro for those who might not know?
It retails for $199. It will play your Game Boy Color, and your Game Boy Advance games right out of the box. They're doing adapters for Game Gear, Atari Lynx, SNK, Pocket Color / Neo Geo Pocket Color. It has a 1600 by 1440 screen resolution. There are 4 face buttons, 2 trigger buttons on the back of the system. It looks like there's a start, select, and probably a home button on there as well. There's going to be a built-in music program on this thing as well. It's going to be absolutely fucking fantastic. And I hope I can get one for free, but if I can't, it's not a big deal. That's definitely something I wouldn't mind spending money on.
You forgot the dock.
Well, the dock is kind of weird. A lot of people are a bit skeptical on it just because of Analog themselves. They've always said that they're coming out with this, that, and the other attachment. Analog's like the premium Hyperkin. I've noticed Hyperkin will say like they have like 50 fucking things coming out, and then like they never come out, or they like eventually come out just completely out of the blue. And Analog kind of tends to do that sometimes as well. But yeah, in theory, the dock should be cool because then you can play it on your television. It'll have HDMI out, so then you can record footage on there. But
what does the dock look like?
It's literally just like a little dock. Like it's an actual thing that you plug it into.
I'm-
And you can use Bluetooth controllers on the thing as well when you're
That's
playing
tight.
By
in
850. I am a little bit concerned about the dock because I've got it up right now, but I don't know if you can see, Greg. It's a base platform and it looks like it has a cylinder on the back. So the way that I assume this docks is there must be like a plug in the base
yeah, I
that
did
you
see
just
it.
slide the pocket onto. And that worries me because if you have a household with any kind of activity around it, I could see that getting knocked over so easily. And then having the plug potentially getting ripped out.
Come on.
But
What do you mean?
Look who it's intended for, though.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's for the
intended for
premium gaming connoisseur who's buying a fucking $200 Game Boy in 2020, except for someone, who's a premium retro connoisseur.
Okay, but
It's
most
not like
likely
a little shithead with kids running around. The people that are buying this are the people with game rooms. Okay.
So you're telling me there is no premium retro collector without kids?
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying the premium retro collector probably has a lock and key or a dedicated room to something like this, or is a decent parent and will put it somewhere where it won't get knocked down.
It'll get up again, though. Are you considered a premium retro collector?
I would say no, because I don't buy all of the analog products. I only buy the ones that interest me. There are people that will buy literally any analog product. And I'm also not one of those people where it's like, I'm not the snobby retro gamer, which we don't like each other anyways. So,
there's actually one called the snobby retro gamer.
No, there's a lot of elitists in retro gaming,
I believe it.
Tons of elitists. I'm cool with some of them because they're cool with me, but like, there's so many that don't like me just because like I like clone systems. I think there's a place for clone systems. If somebody came out, I like Game Boy clone systems still. Like that's okay. And fucking yes, analog is it's a hardware based emulation, so it's as close as you can get to it. But at the end of the fucking day, it's still emulation.
It has
so
two.
Get off your high horse.
It has two FPGAs, so it's actually encouraging the development scene of the Game Boy Advance, or anything that runs on this thing.
No, bad latency. It plays Game Boy and Game Boy Color out of the box, along with Game Boy Advance.
Yes, and then you need an adapter for the other things.
Right, that'll
It kinda
come
reminds me,
later.
like a comparison's like, I don't know, like a record player. Like, obviously there's still high quality record players out there, and all different types of people have them. But if you wanted something curator that's going to purchase something like this instead of just like a cheapy record player.
I mean, it's like the Panasonic Q. I've played my Panasonic Q for maybe 2 hours total because I would rather just play on my regular GameCube than play on my Panasonic Q because I don't want it to get fucked up because it's worth a lot of money.
So I'm not a big retro gaming collector, but this thing is very appealing for a bunch of reasons. First of all, playing all of the Game Boy Advance library on your TV, that I like. I've already shared plenty of times. I'm not big on handheld gaming. I don't use my Switch in handheld anymore. I just don't enjoy it. I prefer playing on screens, TVs, my PC. So the fact that I can play the Game Boy Advance, which is a fantastic library, and it's really in that era of gaming where I feel it's like 16-bit evolved. Like, they learned all their lessons on the Super Nintendo, and they really went all out on the Game Boy Advance era. And this is also a great way to, correct me if I'm wrong, was there any way to stream these libraries previously without emulation?
Game Boy player.
Yeah. I mean, you can use a Super Game Boy on a Super Nintendo clone system. You can use the Game Boy player on the GameCube to play all of them as well.
Okay.
And then
or even plug in the Eon, if you want like just a quick HDMI port, that's also an option too.
Well, you would need that unless you're doing composite or something through a retro tank.
Yeah.
As far as the easy solution, no. But there are ways to do it.
Okay, but this is kind of your one-stop streaming platform for retro handheld. Like anyone who's into that, they're better off just getting this.
Probably the simplest, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially for that resolution too.
That as well. So yeah, that's a pretty cool device. Anyone in the
I wonder
chat?
if people will. I mean, is that a possibility to release like a tech pack for a game or something like that?
To release
Especially for this system.
For his what?
Like if someone were to release like a a texture pack for a game with the console be able to run that as a mod.
Yeah, I mean the thing of it is the all of the analog systems, the developer releases hacks for them like within a week, and so like you could use SD cards and shit on that. So there's probably going to be some crazy shit that will end up coming out on that.
I'm down for that.
Mm-hmm. By the way, you would give some competition on the Price is Right, Sean, with your announcer voice.
What?
You should join the Price is Right to describe products. You've got a good voice for it.
Do they still have? Well, no. If Bob Barker was still there, oh, am I gonna get chicks with Drew Carey? Fuck out of here, Bob Barker. He's got money. He'll pay the chicks.
You don't think Drew Carey has money?
No.
Drew Carey's got money, but Drew Carey doesn't seem like the type. See, Drew Carey's at that age where is he married?
Good
like,
question.
I feel like he's married to like, a satisfactory woman.
Satisfactory.
But like Bob Barker,
only does a missionary.
Yeah, like Bob Barker was like 75, like hiring 20-year-old models and probably banging them and stuff. Like, wow. I would have a better time with Bob Barker than I would Drew Carey.
So according to Wikipedia, there's no information on him being married. Usually they would indicate it. He has a bit of a military career. Didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. Rank of sergeant. He's a sergeant.
Staff sergeant.
He's 61 years old. So he's got some credits back there. Damn, he's got a pretty. No way, this can't be him. Apparently, this is what you look like in the military, guys.
We can't see it.
I know you guys can't see it, but the audience can see it, and he looks like a badass.
Gomer Pyle.
If you go to his Wikipedia page, it's on the right when you scroll down a bit.
What the hell?
Right?
He looks like he could fuck some shit up, but the only thing he can fuck up now is like pizza.
It was all downhill after that. He's married to The Price is Right. Drew Carey's the kind of guy that eats Taco Bell and says, "Ooh, that's got a little kick to it." All right, guys, we are now at the lightning round, so do toss up your questions, your topics, anything you want to ask Greg or Sean or myself about Canada, EGLX, Fortnite, PlayStation 5.
Who cares about Canada?
Or anything else that we talked about, or about his deflated Beetlejuice on the couch, just screaming in agony.
He'll get used.
Play with me. Stewie says, thoughts on Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE?
I don't give a shit. I talked about it in a video.
Yeah.
But as like, I don't give a shit about the censoring stuff in that game in particular for really two reasons, I guess. One, it was a developer decision and not a government decision. Mm-hmm. And two, I don't care about the game. So
does anybody know?
It's hard for me to care.
Is it in the same I feel like I'm stupid asking this, but is it in the same universe as Persona?
I will not quit saying hashtag. It has a hashtag.
I say hashtag. I know it's sharp, but whatever.
I'm not saying sharp. That's no.
Say both. Sharp hashtag.
What'd you say?
Sharp hashtag.
Sharp hashtag. It is. So Eric says it's not, but isn't because I was reading up on Persona, isn't it in the Shin Megami universe, or is it another universe? I don't know. I'm going down a rabbit hole with Persona though. So
I don't play any of those games, so
yeah.
Sorry.
The sharp tag. There you go. Siggy Sauer, the big question.
It probably is a sharp because it's a music-based game, but I live on social media, so it's a hashtag.
There you go. Siggy Sauer asks, where do you see gaming in 10 years?
In the toilet.
Such an optimist. Such an optimist.
I mean, it's hard to say. Like,
more fragmented than ever.
Has gaming really changed all that much in 10 years?
No, but I think what you're going to see is a further fragmentation of the industry. You're going to see esports develop more, and you're going to have niche. So interesting enough, I saw they had this content at EGLX yesterday where they had some of the biggest Fortnite players playing NES games against each other. And some of these players had never played any of these old games like Mario or Excite Bike, or what else did they play? Ice hockey. So I really think we're seeing more fragmentation. You see a lot of people that play League of Legends that have never touched another video game in their life. You're seeing more of these niches being created. You're seeing people that are just going to stick to retro gaming. You're seeing people that just stick to shooters. I think we're just going to see more of what it is today, but in further fragmentation. That's my take. Hot take.
More silos.
More silos. And it'll be up to us to unite it.
I think that's fair, like as a culture, but I thought for digital was going to take over more than it has. I mean, there's still significant numbers between physical and digital. Mm-hmm. I at EGLX I sat panels talking about the voice modulation for games like Watch Dogs Legion, and if they were to actually pack that all on a disc, it would have been they threw out just a arbitrary number. They say like 11 terabytes of data or whatever. But I just feel like, I mean, even if you buy physical because you want the physical disc now, you're still going to download, a large content pack or an update or things like that. I just wish going forward, that's something that they would figure the hell out, is like storage. I mean, Stadia has a partial answer to that. Maybe and then they walk it back. Who knows? But I feel like, maybe in the future, it's going to be a little bit of both. You're going to have the game that you buy, that you put in, your console, and then part of it's the rendering and the additional packs are done in the cloud, so it's not completely, filling your console's system storage. So I think we'll at least go that route.
We might see that with SSD. That's something we didn't touch on. SSD is going to allow developers to actually shrink their game file size. We can talk about that more in another episode. Crimson asks, RGT, do you miss Eli Manning?
No.
There you go. Who's Eli?
The old quarterback for the Giants.
Treon asks, have any of you guys played Luigi's Mansion 3 yet? Opinions if you have. It's a fantastic game.
I've not.
Just from the demo. I've only played the demo.
I played the demo a couple times. I like
it a lot. It's really good. Pound sign. See, he says it's not a hashtag or sharp. It's a pound sign. Kat clarifies it's a spin-off of Shin Megami. Eric asks, what do you think about the lack of news of Shin Megami Tensei 5? Honestly, a game I forgot existed.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's kind of weird. Every year you expect to possibly hear something about it, and then you never do.
There's always casualties every year, games that just quietly get shushed out of existence.
I think it'll still come. I just think it's a matter of necessarily when.
Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about Okami. A sequel to Okami was teased on Twitter.
It did.
Eric asked, will your Sega 32X be available digitally or in other languages?
Digitally, yes. Other languages, no. Learn English. Although Brazil might not be well, I mean, it's available worldwide. I feel like
you could get a translator right there.
I feel like most people can read English that are going to be interested in the book.
Kat says, would be nice if consoles launch with more than 500 gigabytes or 1 terabyte.
I think that's asinine that we're still trying to survive off a terabyte of storage.
Yes.
Like,
Sonic
we should
says,
be at least 2.
Sorry. Link's Awakening is great. People need to stop crying over the Animal Crossing-ish graphics.
What?
Apparently there's people complaining about Link's Awakening graphics.
I mean, the graphics are fine. It's just the blurring and the
frame rate.
The frame rate being all over the place.
Triana asks, do you think we'll get another tease of Breath of the Wild 2 at Game Awards, or do we have to wait till E3 2020?
Yes.
Ooh, you think so, eh?
I think so.
That'd be really nice. Greg?
My response was in there, but I think they're going to take that time to put the spotlight back on them versus have Xbox and PlayStation with whatever they don't have to announce. I mean, it's a perfect time to take advantage of that captive audience that's there watching the show.
Mm-hmm. Tron also says, I hope it's like Majora's Mask, where the development time is relatively fast due to reusing the engine.
It will be.
Yeah. I think what you're seeing here is a lot of time and energy went into Breath of the Wild to create kind of an open development environment for them to experiment with. And you saw that the player base really opened their eyes to the possibilities of what could be done. Like, the player base found uses and ways to play the game the developers didn't even imagine. So I think we're going to see just maybe a new land, a new story, and everything else. Maybe a few new assets to keep things fresh.
So if everything's polished, great about it, what are you guys' thoughts on sales numbers versus Breath of the Wild 2 versus Breath of 1?
Good question. How much did the first one do?
14, 13.
That
I think it'll eclipse it.
Really?
Yeah.
Sequels don't... I don't know. I want to say yes, but... So it sold 14 million copies worldwide. 12 on the Switch, 1.5 on the Wii U.
I think it'll eclipse it.
It probably will look better too, though, because the Breath of the Wild was originally developed for the Wii U, so here we would be seeing a game fully developed for the Switch. Eclipse it, though, it all depends. If it's coming out, it all depends on the landscape, I think, of the next console wars that's brewing a year away. Like, I feel the Switch, if they're not careful, they could easily be swept under the rug under whatever PlayStation 5 and Xbox Scarlet are going to be fighting about. There's always going to be that core Nintendo audience there, don't get me wrong, but the mainstream that's not tuned into the Nintendo news and what's happening, I think any kind of big Nintendo stuff could easily be drowned out if it appears that the Switch is at the end of its life cycle.
But that's not going to be for a little while. The first year and a half of the PS5 and Xbox 2, aside from first party games, is going to be just ports of definitive editions and remastered editions.
So you think it's going to be the same as last gen? Because
yes, why wouldn't it be?
Yes, because PlayStation has been very quiet over the last few years. I think they're holding a lot of cards close to their chest. I think we're going to see a lot of new games.
Almost like I said, there's going to be the first party titles.
Okay.
There was first party titles. You got to remember, there was Infamous, there was Killzone, there was the Order. No, the Order. Oh, yeah. There was Knack. There was Little Big Planet. All because the games aren't for you doesn't mean that there weren't necessarily games there.
All right, you win this
one. And plus, that's something we didn't touch on. The Tegra X1 Plus chip, whatever that is.
I don't think that's not gonna have any bearing on the Switch.
It'll be a good topic for next week. Hopefully we get more info. We can talk about the Switch Pro. Matt with the 199 super chat, thank you, man, asks, is Sean getting the head-to-head one-up coffee table?
No.
Who would he go head-to-head with?
I want one, but I don't have room for it, and I don't want to ask Arcade One-Up to send one because I'm still waiting for them to send me Marvel.
We have a member of the Breath of the Wild Wii U club here in the chat. We got Kat, who got Breath of the Wild on Wii U. Oh, Treon as well. There we go. 2 out of 1.5 million. Biggest question of the night by John. Why in the heck is there no Einhander, I probably bastardized that word, remaster? It's great shoot 'em up on PS1. I doubt 90% of people even remember that game.
Because it's a Square game, and Square doesn't really... If it's not a big RPG, it seems like Square forgets about... Square used to do all sorts of interesting games. They're kind of like EA. They're kind of like an anti-EA. But if you think about it, Square used to do a wide genre of games. Square used to do racing games. Then was it a racing game that they did? Or was that Konami? I don't know. But Square used to do a wide variety of games. And then they really don't as much anymore.
I just literally boxed that game up long ago.
Eric,
it is a great game.
It's a great game.
And finally, we have Eric with a $20 Argentina thing, which is, I think, 2 cents Canadian. I have to go see it soon. Hashtag don't hate Canada. And we got Puzz Solver. I bought Breath of the Wild on Wii U first. A lot of people here bought Breath of the Wild on Wii U. I did not. All right, we're going to be calling it an end to the show there. But before we go, Greg, anything you'd like to say? Bring attention to or any work that's coming down the pipe.
I worked on a video questions on the EGLX show floor this past week. I might have some stuff coming out from Ubisoft, but just look for that on the Nintendo Enthusiast YouTube channel. Brett and I did some camera work there, so it should be going up this week.
Sean, anything fun coming
Yeah,
out?
Ring Fit Adventure. Ideally, Vampire. I'm trying to get an early copy of that.
Did it get delayed?
No, I don't think so. No, because stupid fucking Wood already has it. I don't even know how because he's been out of town.
Bloodlines 2?
No. Vampire with the Y for the Switch. Because I really liked it on the Xbox One, and I want to play it again because it's a sort of an open-ended thing where you can make different decisions. Aladdin will be up on the channel at some point this week. Yeah, they actually sent out physical review copies.
Wow, they know their audience.
Yeah, I was happy with that. There'll be a Marvel Cab review as well because that's coming in this week. I just ranked every Nintendo home console from the NES to the Switch earlier today. It's like a fucking 19-minute long video because I can't shut up. So be sure to get a snack and a beverage and get like a pee cup or something if you have a bladder like Greg.
It's 20 minutes.
Yep.
And since it's like nearing the end of the month, there's going to be the upcoming Switch games for the month of November video. There's a lot of fucking shit I have to do this week now that I'm sitting out here talking about it out loud. So yeah, be on the lookout.
I'm glad I can be your planning session to get the RGT week in order. Over on Hey Jay, things are a little bit chaotic. My schedule is messed up right now, so I can't tell you when the next stuff's happening. But the streams are going to be consistent. Tomorrow we're going to be doing another Indie Corner stream. I'm not sure which game yet. I'll be playing there. Then we're of course going to do the Castlevania stream on Wednesday. Those things are guaranteed. With another Castlevania Diaries on Wednesday, I think it's going to be Castlevania Legends, the Game Boy game. Other than that, you can also catch me on Rerez's Hot Take. So if you just search Rerez Hot Take, I show up there once or twice a week when appropriate. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, keep it classy, or as Sean would say.
Keep it classy.
Or as Greg would say.
Thanks to Canada, keep it classy.
I like it. Have a good week, everybody. Gotta get you back to sleep.